everyone, Kim here with Tabletop Rebellion, and today we will be looking at a gorgeous tile laying game from Pencil First Games called the 100 Torii. It's designed by Scott Caputo with art by Vincent Dutrait. In the 100 Torii, you're walking through a beautiful Japanese garden, visiting fountains, flowers, lanterns, and shrines as you pass through Torii gates, and you'll meet interesting people along the way. The object of the game is to have the most enlightening journey by expanding the garden and walking through as many Torii gates as possible while moving between similar landmarks and enlisting the assistance of characters in the gardens, such as poets, gardeners, vendors, samurai, and geisha. Each player will take turns placing a tile on the board to expand the garden. Now, each tile will have pathways, one or two icons representing the landmarks available on that tile, and then possibly one or more Torii gates. Once the tile is placed, the player chooses one of the landmarks on it and draws the shortest path to the closest matching landmark elsewhere in the garden. The player then gains a token for the landmark that it matched, plus additional landmark tokens if the shortest path passes through any Torii gates. Now, the color of the Torii gate you pass through will determine if you receive a matching landmark token or a non-matching token. Before placing a tile, players may choose to gain the assistance of one of the characters in the garden at a cost of a number of collected tokens or coins. You'll start the game with 2 coins that can be spent towards gaining assistance, but you won't earn any other coins throughout the game. These characters allow you to perform different actions, such as discarding one of your tiles and drawing 2 more, or blocking an empty spot adjacent to an already placed tile, or closing a landmark so that you can draw a longer path. I love that one. The difficult decision is when to use your tokens to gain assistance and when to save them to earn points, because it is certainly a balance you have to try to master. Points are earned by visiting the same landmark multiple times and hiring characters multiple times, as well as bonuses for visiting all of the landmarks and creating enclosures. Now, for example, if I place this tile here and draw the closest line to the next lantern icon, I'll earn 2 matching landmark tokens and 1 non-matching. Now, if I look at my player area, I can choose to either keep collecting these lantern tokens until I have 5, so I can flip this tile over to 10, or I can use 2 of these and 1 of my coins to hire the poet. Play continues until the last tile is drawn, and then each player, including that player who drew the last tile, takes 1 final turn. And you'll see that the number of tiles used in each game will vary by the player count. And that, my friends, is the 100 Torii. So, what did we think of it? Look, I'm going to just get straight to the point. We loved it. The gameplay is solid, it's well designed. There is something very satisfying to creating these paths. This game scales very well by just adjusting the number of path tiles and assistant scoring tiles that are used. So it's incredibly simple. And as I mentioned earlier, you have to consider when to spend landmark tokens to get assistance, when to use them towards points. And you also have to consider where you're placing your tiles. Is this going to open up an even better pathway for your opponent? So many decisions. So we felt the gameplay went by quicker than we expected. It was over faster than we wanted it to be. So it certainly did not overstay its welcome. And I was absolutely ready for a rematch as soon as it ended. I think this game is approachable for most players. It's not overly complex to teach. I would say the hardest part is finding where the next matching icon is located along the path. Now let me clarify. So when I say hardest part, I don't mean difficult. This didn't impact the game for us at all. It was just locating the matching icon and counting the tiles between them and find the shortest path. Now, we love that if you have 2 options that are the same distance away, the player gets to choose which path they take. So usually one is more beneficial than the other with Torii gates and such. Since the tiles are distributed randomly and placed randomly, there's a lot of replayability here. Now, components, whew, they did a great job here. The rulebook is clear, it's easy to understand. There are plenty of good examples for tile placement, scoring, and the like included. The game pieces themselves are thick, sturdy cardboard, and the art on them, wow. I mean, it's outstanding. This game is absolutely gorgeous. I'm not kidding when I say that. From the small landmark tokens to the large scoring pieces, as you'll see, the art's absolutely going to wow you. Everything fits nicely back into the box when you finally make the decision to actually put it away. But if you're like me, you're gonna want to keep playing. The theme is super well represented here. It's really fun to watch all of the paths and the enclosures come together as the game progresses, and it seems to be different every time you play. All of our games have been really close in scoring, and that has made it really fun too. We are a bit competitive here in this household, so when games are very close, that makes it even more exciting for us. With all of these things considered, this makes the 100 Torii our very first Rebellion Essential game, meaning that this game deserves a space on your shelf and is essential for your collection, in our opinion. So head on over to Pencil First Games and get your pre-order in, as this game is not yet out on FLGS shelves yet. But certainly be on the look for it. You are going to want to pick this one up. That's all for this video. If you like it, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow us over on social media to see how we're bringing people together one game at a time.